Everybody, this is our first installation of Cousins Corner. Got my two favorite cousins on. We're going to be doing this podcast. We're going live on YouTube. Then we're going to move it over to our podcast station where you can find us on all the podcast platforms. Look for the Power Hour with CP. And then look for the Cousins Corner. We're going to get some hot topics tonight. This is our first one, and we're going to be moving this over to hopefully the radio station, the Preeminent Radio. So I'm looking very forward to that. I want to thank my two cousins. We met on Ancestry some years back, and I love these two. So I'm glad that they decided to do this. We can be controversial, and we all like to talk. So let's get into it. You want to introduce yourselves, or you don't want to be anonymous? Your pictures are going to be seen on his YouTube, but do you want to be anonymous as far as your names go?
I am AJ from California.
AJ.
I'm Jeff from New York.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with these corners, we got a little bit of north, a little bit of south, a little bit of west. Cousins Corners. There's a way to, it means something there. We all got together.
There you go. You sound like a DJ, cousin.
Well, thank you very much, cousin. I really appreciate that. You know, that's what we're working on, inspiring to be.
Yeah, you sound good. Sound good.
So we got a couple hot topics for y'all tonight. You know, we're just kicking around a couple things. And, you know, I want the one we're going to talk about first, I wanted to be last. Because, oh, my goodness, I've been talking about this with so many people. Race relations. We want that one first? I don't know if we're going to talk about race relations. We're going to talk a little bit about black women and why they don't do the right thing and they cross over. I don't know what they be thinking about. I don't know why they do want to not date a black man. I don't get it, cousin Jeff. I just don't get it. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is like there's a radio station out of LA, KBLA, and they brought up a subject about how the pastors, they be doing some extra dipping and some extra coffee or their cream, and they're just not happy at home, I guess. You know, they think they can get what they want. And it's easy for women love pastors. Women love pastors. They sit in the front with their legs open. But anyway.
Nah, man.
Well, let's jump. Let's talk about the first one. You said why these black women aren't acting right.
Oh, we go with that first. Yeah, with the crossover.
Okay. It's not.
Yeah, the crossover is just not in basketball, y'all. It's these black women dating these foreigners.
Well, some of them are not foreigners. Some of them are Americans. They're just different races. There's not enough. You said they're foreigners. Not enough eligible black men. Europeans,
those are foreigners.
Not enough. The ones that are born American born here. I'm not talking about the 90-Day Fiance. I'm talking about the American Caucasian brothers.
Oh, you're talking about like the Italian Americans and Irish Americans.
German Americans. You don't.
Oh, wait.
You say that as opposed to African Americans.
Oh, so I was born here. How come I'm not just American? Well, I got to be African American, and they are not Italian American.
That's a whole nother subject. I consider. I don't use the African American description for myself.
Oh, okay.
I prefer to be called black.
Me too, really.
Yeah.
I have never been African. I've never, been there.
Unfortunately, I would love to go, but I'm.
But your ancestors is from there, right? One of them.
Yeah, but also ancestors from Ireland and Germany, Russia.
I got ancestors. I'm all mixed up. I got ancestors from a whole lot of places.
Well, we cousins. We know that.
Yeah, we all mixed up.
But when you walk down the street and I see you,
I identify as black.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to identify as African.
So when you subscribe to something, do you put other?
If they have only choice is African American, yes, I'll put other. But if black is there, then I'll pick black.
So that's interesting that you would say that. Both of you would say that because now, cousin AJ, you're saying there's not enough eligible black men. And as we fill out these applications and subscriptions, we're actually knocking the numbers down by saying that we're other. Now the stats are all wrong. Something's wrong with the stats.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're marking other on. I mean, are we talking about the census? Are they going to consider you Black? You know, I mean, what are we marking it on?
Okay.
Well, I like to say this. Sometimes it's to our advantage to put other, because I was just telling you, cuz I'm closing that deal on my house, right?
Yes, sir.
And my name is Jeff Burns, and my wife's name on it is Nicole Burns, and we posed as white people selling the house because and I got me a white real estate agent.
Well,
to get the price that I needed to get, because I know that if I would have let them know it was a Black man selling this house and a Black woman selling that house, that I might not have gotten the bids that I got. You understand?
See, I being that that's my business, that's just unfortunate, because so far this year, if all of my clients that are Black had that same mentality, I'd be broke.
This was Arizona.
No, yeah, I'd be broke. I currently am doing, because I do real estate and I do home loans, but I'm currently doing 2 loans in Arizona right now with Black customers, and if they had that same thought, I'd be broke.
Well, but
that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic in recycling our Black dollars, because that's not necessarily how real estate goes.
My strategy actually worked.
Well, you don't know if it worked because you don't know if you would have gotten the same thing from a Black agent.
No, it was for sale by owner. And and the people came to me, and literally one person was offended that I was the Black man that owned the house and didn't want to buy it.
Well,
but you can't compare for sale by owner to a listed agent anyway, because when it's for sale by owner, it's totally different than having representation. But now we're getting off subject. But that's okay. Let's digress.
Let me just say this. I put it out there for some Black agents, right? And they did not jump on it. The white boy jumped on it.
How you put it out there?
I was looking for an agent, and I made phone calls to Black agents, and they was like, yeah, okay, well, I'll get around to it. It was that type of attitude.
Well, so that's different than so you had the lack of professionalism.
Well, I didn't know that many people, so somebody.
Yeah, I mean it's not a predominantly Black area. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Somebody told me about
as long as you sold it.
Huh?
Yeah. As long as you sold it.
Oh no, he set the market now. He sold it.
It's not a whole lot to do. You don't have to do a lot right now to sell a house. It's more homes. It's more borrowers than their homes. So
yeah,
that's the market right now. It's very competitive. So that's what it is.
But as far as getting back on that subject, I don't knock sisters for dating or trying to marry these white guys, but I can't stand when they say there's no good Black men. Now, you like what you like, that's all good, but it not being no good Black men, there's plenty of good Black men, you just not focused in that area. You ever buy a car and then now you see that car all over the place, but you never saw it before?
Oh.
That's how it is. You're focused on the white boy and you're not focused on your Black man.
That's what
I don't think that's
like.
true. And I don't think that's true for a lot of successful women that in their business realm, that might be what they see and who approaches them. So I agree with you though. I don't think that I don't subscribe to there are no good Black men. I don't believe that at all.
I think. I was gonna say I think there's a lot also that goes into that there may not be. There's a lot of us out here, but I think with the arrest and the murder, and it's always been the thing of trying to get rid of the black man and cut their numbers down. That's always been a thing. So now we were a good man. He may have gotten put in jail over some humbug. He gets out, he's not a good man anymore because now he got a record. But he's still a good man. But according to society, because it was a humbug, and then sisters, you know, they get a good job, and now they don't want to deal with this guy because he can't get a job or get the job that they want him to get. He's not a good black man anymore. And then he has to have his thought pattern, okay, now I got to get this other job just to work because they put me in the system and it messed me up just to mess up the whole black family thing. And that's been around for a long time.
And I agree with that right there.
I do too.
So now a sister has to go get somebody else who they don't have to worry about stuff like that. They don't have to be worried about getting arrested for no reason at all. They can go get that home loan. They can sell that house the way they want to sell that house because they look differently. Now they got an easier sell because they look differently. Now they got an easier buy. Now it's easier. I'm not sure where places that you guys may go, but it may be easier to get a loan. Right? So me as a black man who's like, may have a jail record, may have been divorced. Okay, here's this guy. He's coming in. He doesn't have the best credit, but I could pay the bills. I could pay the mortgage, but I'm not going to get that loan. I'm not going to get that same loan.
You know, it really, I think, goes back to early training, learning about your financial responsibility. And I don't know if that's taught in our household as much as it is in the white counterpart household. The responsibility of having, you know, a FICO score that will allow you to get a house. So because maybe, you know, but there are a lot of black people that have 800 FICO scores, but there are a lot of black people that don't. So true. You know, me working at a nationwide bank, color does not play a part in whether or not you get a loan. It's the basic qualifications.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you tell everybody. But on top of that, what I was going to was now I can't get the house that sister that looks like you will date a guy who has a house that looks like this. I can't get that sister, but I know I'm good enough for that sister. And so that sister goes and turns to somebody else, and now she's dating somebody else. Now she done went to the other side and dating a foreigner.
But so if your FICO score is 600 and John Boy has 800 FICO score, you know, then that does make a difference.
Why?
But it's not
that makes a difference. Why can't you take that 600 good, brother?
800 will make her life a lot easier. Okay.
800.
So that's what's important. Easier.
Will make her life a lot easier. And women are looking for security. They're looking for easier. They don't want to struggle with the black man.
Well,
we struggle by ourselves. They don't want to struggle with any man.
You see what I'm saying?
With any man. There's no race on that one. They don't want to struggle with any man. Who wants to struggle with a man?
No,
if you got a man, you shouldn't be struggling.
No, listen. I agree with you.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I'm saying that to Curtis. He's saying, really? I mean, yeah, you're right. What you're saying, I agree. But I'm saying they don't want to struggle with any man.
Well, you're right. But I take my wife, for instance. She struggled with me through the years, and it's paying off quite well for her these days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, she took a chance on a black man.
There you go. And it turned out perfect.
And when I married her, she had the 800 score, and was 5. My score was 5 something.
Well, so now we're going to start dividing this line.
And look, first thing I did was go get me a brand new Expedition as soon as we got married on her credit.
There you go. So you can drive her around in a nice car.
All kind of benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the second thing I did was buy me a house out there in California with her credit.
There you go. And now she's happy and comfortable. She can ride in a nice car and live in a nice house.
But
now,
we're
also talking.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying we're also talking about a difference in age. You know, at the age that we are now, you might not be so lucky to have that wife.
Okay.
Oh, so you're saying there's not that many good black women out there is what you're trying to say?
No. I'm saying that if you're 20 years old and you meet a guy that maybe just graduated college or didn't go to college and he's just starting out, maybe he's 21, 22, you work together to come up to where you are. But if you're 50 or 40, you're not trying to bring a brother up.
I got you, because my boy in Manhattan, he just was complaining to me because, he just started a business. He's struggling, got a little apartment out there in Harlem, right? And he was dating a young lady who making 6 figures plus, and she's got a house and she's got a car, and she's really putting pressure on him to step it up because she's close to 50. She's 47. He's 47, and he broke up with her because he couldn't take the pressure that she was putting on him. And he said to me, I'm now only dating women in their 20s that'll give me time to get it together.
Ouch. That's interesting. That's interesting. So she didn't want to work on the business with him?
Well, he just started it. I mean, he's just coming into something now. And she felt like he should have been further along. You understand? But yet she's acting like she's 20-something years old and her stock is real high because she's making, almost 200 grand a year.
40-something years old. Yeah.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? And she's acting like she has a whole lot of options out there and making him feel bad about where he is right now when he is really trying to come up. I've known him for years, so he's hit some bad spells. When I met him,
well, he can't be doing too bad if he's got an apartment in Harlem.
Well, no. He was with me in California, and I met him. He was homeless, and I let him come live in the church.
He's doing real good. He's doing real good then.
he had left New York and put his name on a Section 8 list.
Okay.
or something like that. And 10 years later, he back here and his name came up.
Wow.
So that's how he got the apartment.
Wow.
Okay, well.
So he's patient.
So he ain't homeless now. Then he started
he's definitely patient.
Business.
He's definitely
patient. Well, he's patient. She's not.
Well,
she exterminated him.
Because she's the age she is, she feel like she should have a man that has the big house and the big car and everything already because she has it, right? But yet she is the age she is and got to realize you got all these little 20-something-year-olds running around, model chicks, and your stock is not as it was.
So
even
true.
Though you got the money in the house.
Oh yeah.
She's not taking it into account, but you also got some mileage. And, and I don't mean to say it like that.
But she does.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
And men can have mileage and get a 20-year-old,
Oh yeah.
But they won't get the substance. They won't get the substance with that 20-year-old. So
no,
it just depends. Yeah, no, you won't. Yeah, but if you just want a good time, a good body, and sex, then
Well, don't count out all 27-year-olds. When I met my wife.
No, not all. But I mean, but see, here's his problem. Your friend problem. He's now running to this new generation, and social media is prevalent. I mean, everybody wants to jet set. They think that when you fly, you're supposed to fly private now. And when you vacation, you're supposed to vacation in Dubai. So he's got bigger problems, with what, so, I mean, my son's 26 and he's single and he's good looking. I'm like, where's the girl? He's like, these girls, he has his own place, his own car. And, he said, I don't drive a Porsche. I drive a Camry,
Right.
He ain't making 6 figures at 26. He's not a rapper. So, it's tough. So good luck with that one too. It's just tough right now, I guess.
I kind of understood how he's feeling.
His mind.
Every time he gets with a woman his age, she expects more from him that he doesn't have yet. See what I'm saying?
Well, I think anybody would expect if he's 50, and not gainfully employed and living on Section 8, where have you been?
I just threw that Section 8 in case he's listening.
Oh.
But he got it a certain way, put his name on the list, and It's according to how much he makes
Right.
His rent will be.
But where has he been
Oh,
for the last 20 years?
He's been in California with me, back in Cali,
But
struggling.
you've been back in New York for a minute. So what has he been doing all this time?
He came back when I came back. 3 years. We've been back.
Well, my question still remains: what has he been doing?
He was working for an extermination company, and then he now got his own exterminating license, and now he has his own business.
Okay, so
he's out getting contracts,
Okay, that's good.
Say without saying, because he lives in New York, and you're talking about extermination. So I just want to make sure you're talking about regular bugs.
I'm talking about regular bugs.
Okay, just checking.
I ain't talking about no hitman stuff.
I just, just checking. Not trying to incriminate anybody. You say he's an exterminator.
But I do want to bring something else up with the black women getting with these white guys, right?
Yes.
We men got to stop being so hypocritical now, because we love the product of the white man with the black woman when they make babies, because we always running after the red bone chicks with the nice hair and hazel eyes. And that usually comes from relationships like that. And we like all of those women.
You said Curtis saying well because he red bone.
Huh?
Curtis saying well because he's red bone.
I have known to like a red one or two.
But I'm just trying to say, we love the product of those relationships, but we hate to see the sister with the white boy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
So we got to stop being hypocritical too.
Yeah. Can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways.
You won't have those type of sisters running around if you don't have those relationships.
Well, you know something though? Black people can make beautiful babies too.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, I love my chocolate women, man.
Absolutely.
The darker the berry. But I'm saying it's all beautiful to me. I'm just saying a lot of guys be running after the red bones. Like my daughter's a red bone, and the dudes be crazy about it just because she's a red bone.
Well,
I mean, she's attractive, but they want that light skin.
Oh, right? Yeah.
But usually those children are products of all this interracial mixing.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not usually two chocolate people getting together is generally gonna make a chocolate baby. You know,
in most cases,
something else, but
there
generally it's gonna be a chocolate baby.
Okay, there you go. I'm just checking because I'm listening to the story and hearing what you're saying and hearing the results of what your daughter looks like. But we'll leave that right there. So
what else we have on the list?
Her mama was multiracial. Okay.
Okay.
That's how she came out. Like she came out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Because at that time in my life, I was 17, and I had to have me a red bone with long red hair.
Well.
Just because, right?
Just because.
And I'm not mad at you, cousin.
I had to floss around the neighborhood, man.
I'm not mad at you, cousin.
But as I got older, I started liking my skin, the skin on my women a little dark.
Okay, a little more well done.
Yes. I had to keep them in the oven a little bit longer.
Yeah, you get older, you can't eat all that red meat anymore. So anyway, just saying.
It ain't good for you.
Can't eat as much red meat.
That's a good one.
Nah, that's my daughter's mother put me through hell, brother. I think it turned me off, and I had to go back to the sister.
The doctor.
Mercy. Wow. So move right along. So this is one of the ones I really want to get into. Race relations.
Okay.
Race relations. So I understand the sisters are trying to keep their part up by dating all these others and brothers. The other than brothers they're dating, so they're doing their part for a race relationship. But there's still a lot going on. We still get frowned on and frowned upon when it comes to different stores we go into, different stores that we call our neighborhoods that are really not our neighborhoods. This is where we predominantly live. And we still get treated funny. And we're spending the most money.
I don't think that's going to change. I don't think that's going to change until all the races die. So this new generation, this new generation of multicultural kids grow up and everyone is accepted, everything is accepted, using the right pronoun, the right race. I don't think that's gonna change until that whole generation dies.
Black has been hated on from as far back in time as we can remember, man, and all over the world. All over the world.
And it's not just, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What'd you say?
I said, even in Jesus' time, the black skin has always been hated on. Okay? Now, why that is, I got a lot of, ideas on why that is. But it'll get too deep for me because I know a little back history of the black man and where we really stem from, and it don't come from Noah cursing Ham. Okay.
Well, I'd like to hear one of those reasons, but I'd also like to say, I think, and one way to fix it, and I think it's getting fixed with all this stuff that happened with George Floyd. Now there's a lot more white folks coming out on different social media platforms saying Black lives do matter, and they are pushing the Black agenda more than we're pushing the Black agenda, because it seems like we're afraid to, or we know we're going to get frowned upon if I say Black lives matter. But if a white person says Black lives matter, everybody's in the corner inviting this guy to the barbecue and applauding. And that's beautiful that we can accept that or hear that.
But I wouldn't say they're pushing it more. I think that they're just waking up to what we all witnessed. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take them to speak up, because we've been crying for years.
So true.
Without anyone listening. So it has to be, our white brothers and sisters to speak up in order for anything to change. And that's where it starts. Because they have to.
It's always been that way. Even out of slavery, look, Abraham Lincoln, had to be the one, and then, on top of that, if you look at most of the fighting we've been doing, we didn't get nowhere until the white man teamed up with us and helped us to get there. You understand what I'm saying?
What a lead.
A lot of them are the ones that helped Harriet Tubman, hid the blacks out in the white churches, in the basements, and in those houses. Those are all white people. We need
black people didn't have any houses then to hide.
Yeah, right. We didn't have a place to hide anybody.
The Railroad was made up of mostly white folks helping us,
get across. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and even Martin Luther King
it's still today
with a lot of white folks.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take.
Get his agenda across. It's just that's the way it is, because they're already in. We're on the outside trying to get in, and we need that Trojan horse that's already in to let us in.
Right.
So, are you saying there's a possibility without other races, we wouldn't be able to get to where we're getting to?
Yeah, it just goes to show how we all need each other, because we can't
at
do
the
it
end of the day.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me into something I really want to talk about: the Asian hate. A couple of people get hit, and now there's a bill. I'm trying to get a couple of people get knocked out
because they ain't black.
And they ain't black, and I'm glad there was something passed, because nobody should be able to get abused like that, and somebody get away with it. So I'm glad
the LGBTQ whatever
that passed. That passed too.
Look how quick they got theirs.
Right.
Because it ain't about black. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh yeah.
We've been fighting this fight forever, and the Asians get theirs right away.
Right away.
The LGBT get theirs right away.
So we go buy some hair, and we get watched when we come into the store, and they tell us go back to our country, and it'd be wrong now that there's a law. I can't even say go back to your country.
Yeah.
Because now that's Asian hate, and it's against the law for me to say something like that, and I can't even. I can get treated. I can walk in their store. They want us to come in, spend their money, and get out right away, quick, fast, in a hurry. And it's okay for me to get treated like that by them. But if I turn around and hate something, say something I hate, now it's against the law. Now I'm in trouble. Is that fair? Well, we know it's not fair.
But that's why nowadays I'm not letting nobody get away with calling me nigger.
Nope.
Or anything.
Nothing.
Because I'm calling the police and it's a hate crime. So I'm gonna use the fact that they set these laws for the Chinese, and I'm gonna use them to my advantage now.
But
because I'm gonna demand that you give me the same respect.
But
the same laws should apply to me. If it's a hate crime for them, then it's a hate crime for me.
But it's not a hate crime for people of color.
On the books, it is because they had to make it to give it to the Chinese. It has to be. It's just not enforced as hard for us.
So I'm gonna have to look.
We got to stand up and demand our respect and demand that we get treated equally. And most of us don't. We accept so much.
Well, one of the things you said, how did it happen so fast, is who brought the bill? There were Asians that brought the bill. So you have to be at the table in order to get those things passed.
And we're not at the table?
There's not enough of us at the table.
That's right.
How many were at the table were there with them?
I mean, you had the congresswoman from Hawaii who's Asian.
Keep going. You didn't go high enough. Keep going a little higher.
Well, I mean, no, you talking about McConnell?
A little higher.
To an Asian woman?
A little higher.
Well, first of all, that Asian money, man.
Don't we have an Asian vice president?
There you go. That she is considered.
Yes, and I'm sure that helped.
But she didn't bring it. She didn't bring it to the. She didn't bring the bill. She didn't foster it. But I think that though, if the situation with George Floyd, some things got passed, and for the police officers and whatever. But I think that if there was a disease that was supposedly brought on by Africa, and people were going around just pushing Black people, hitting them in the head. I don't know. Maybe there might have been a bill brought sooner, but I don't think that happened.
So being murdered in the street is not enough?
We get shot by police. Well, you have to get murdered by police officers. That's different.
Well, let me ask you.
That's different.
Can I throw this in there? Oh, what do you think about the 22.5-year sentence that what's his name? Chauvin? He received.
Yeah, he only got enough. No, he only got charged for one of the things that he was charged with. He only got sentenced on one charge.
Well, he still has 3 other federal charges that he has to answer to. No, I don't think it's enough, but I'll take it.
That only comes down to 11 and a quarter years, right? For him, right?
Is that many years? I think it's less.
He has no record, and they're sentencing you immediately 50%.
I thought it was a third.
No, it's 2/3. It's 2/3. They said 2/3.
It's 2? Okay, I thought it was 1/3.
Yeah. 2/3. So he has to do at least 15, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we don't know what the other sentences, if there will be additional time, because he is also has to answer the federal with the other officers. They're also being tried. So, but I think that it's a good start, because everybody else. It's
a good start.
The officers with Breonna Taylor, they got nothing. I mean, they got in trouble for shooting a wall. So, but nothing for her death. So I think it's a good start. And no, I don't. Obviously, it's not enough. I mean, I thought his mother testified. She shouldn't have said anything, because she basically said, he's an honorable man, and when you sentence him, you're sentencing me. I mean,
well, she's supposed to. That's the mother.
No. If my son kills somebody in the street,
well, you go to jail with him too.
Exactly.
You raised that that animal.
Monster, exactly. Yeah, she has a good point. Yeah, she should do at least half the time with him.
You're right. She is halfway responsible for that, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you.
And then find his father and give him half too.
Thank God it ain't like that though, because our kids will do some stuff that we didn't raise them to do.
Well,
imagine that if that were the case.
Well, imagine the case of somebody being a principal because they were standby or they didn't tell, and now everybody in the car goes to jail.
Well, listen.
Huh?
So is that a different story?
Yeah,
that's a standard story.
I have a lot of opinions on that because I've lived some things, but it ain't for this forum right now.
We gotta do that one after 9, after 10. That's after dark. On the other station.
But listen, man, people see hope in us being equal, as far as in society, and and I'm hoping too. But this has been that way forever, as far back, and I wonder will it really change, because have you noticed, look at all the Karens popping up.
Yes.
Trump has brought out what they've been hiding, all this time. He's made it where they feel free to express themselves, and we can see just how deep it is.
Well,
I give him credit. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, they hate us.
I give him credit.
Let me tell you what happened. What happened to me today?
Please.
I got me a new truck. I bought me a little, in G55.
Well,
G-wagons, and I was out in Long Island with the white folks, and my glasses had broke, and I knew I had bought the glasses at this place, and I wanted to fix it. And some white boys in a pickup truck pull up, and they was just admiring the car when I came out. And then when I clicked the door lock to get in, I heard the talk. Like, oh, heck no. Their whole faces twisted up. They was loud about it. I felt a little fearful too. Because it seemed like they wanted to beat me up for getting in my truck. And I'm looking at this like, man, this is how they really feel.
2021.
That truck is, to a white guy, that's their ultimate car when they have arrived. They drive them G-Wagons out there, and everything. These white boys didn't have them. So a black man wasn't supposed to have it. You understand? Right. And it's a shame,
Yeah. Well, you're lucky you didn't get pulled over by the police.
Well, I'm just
whose car is this?
Chance. Huh?
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get, because the first thing they're gonna ask is whose car is this?
Well, it's registered in my wife's name on purpose.
With the good credit. Credit.
Look, on purpose. So when they run the tags, they ain't running my name.
Then they're gonna say you stole it.
There you go.
Hey, she my wife. I can prove it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. In 2021, you're still receiving that type of thing.
Man, we not supposed, unless we LeBron James, and they be like, okay, that's why he got that money, because he got skills. They don't think we can, have business savvy or any of that. And they'll accept us watching us clown for them or entertain them, but they won't accept us if we got our own business, if we're entrepreneurs, if you get what I'm saying?
How do they know?
I agree.
How do they know you didn't? How do they know that you weren't anybody special?
That's the whole point. They were clocking me, trying to figure out what athlete I was.
Right, and you had to be an athlete to have a vehicle like that.
I'm trying to tell you. I heard the loud talk, okay, and then I saw the eye rolls, like, oh, it was an admiration when it was empty, but when the black man stepped in,
now that it's yours.
Yes, it became something else. But this is just how it is, man. Anytime we step out our house, race relations, man. I mean, it's worse now because Trump has made them feel emboldened.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Yep.
So they gonna let you know. You know, without now they careful with saying nigger right now because they know it could turn into some type of hate crime.
But they're getting popped in the mouth too.
Yeah.
Well,
but they letting you know how they feel.
That's what I
never knew there was so many prejudiced white women.
Never knew.
Yeah.
Never knew.
Yeah.
Till
did you learn? Did you learn it on election night?
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's when I had an epiphany.
Interesting to know that.
And I think about all the white girls I dated, you know, and how their parents how their mothers must have really felt that tried to treat me nice, you know.
Yeah. You knew how they felt about you.
And listen, they act like they love me, but now that I see the true colors coming out, you know,
and maybe some of them, maybe some of them did. Maybe those were the ones that that helped the Harriet Tubman. You know.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Maybe so.
I mean, you get one or two in a bunch.
And what I don't want to say, but I must say that we talk about other races against Black people, but we got to consider also, you know, I don't want to talk about black and black crime, but at the same time, there's a lot of us who don't want to be Black.
Nah, that's true.
We have a lot of folks.
We're bleaching our skin.
Yes. Brothers.
We're putting in the white girl's hair.
Yes. Brothers you think brothers aren't brothers. Some of them are sisters, but that's okay.
Did you see our cousin flip her hair? But look,
right.
Tell her she half white anyway.
AJ with the good hair.
No.
Well, you can see it on YouTube and on his the podcast. That's AJ with the good hair.
Don't associate me with Becky with Matt Barnes going through right now.
Well,
Kwame. Yeah.
That's true. So, you know, I think that's the worst crime of all, the worst hate of all. We're trying to progress, and we're having people help us out. Everybody but the people with the hate crime, because I don't think they've ever stood beside. Is that a hate crime by me saying that I don't feel like they've ever stood beside us? They got a hate bill, but I feel like they've never stood. Every other race has stood with us. That I've noticed. If you look back to me, and I may be wrong.
You're speaking about the Asian.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But worse than that is me being mad at my cousin or my brother just because. And I try my best to speak to everybody I walk past. I have to make myself speak, and it shouldn't be like that. And then I notice they're like, okay, am I supposed to speak? Let me look around, see if I'm supposed to speak first. And it shouldn't be that way.
You just speak. Just speak and keep moving. That's what I do.
This stuff has been planned, long time planning from the white man, pitting us up against each other.
Talk to us.
Making us hate our own skin.
Talk to us.
Putting his white woman up there like she's the queen.
Talk to us.
All right? And making everything like Cleopatra and all those people that really were Black.
Well,
putting white faces on all of them. When the most beautiful woman in the world is the Black woman. All right? When the original woman was the Black woman, Eve was a Black woman.
Wait a minute.
That birthed the world.
Wait a minute.
So
you're gonna get some flack for that one.
It's a plan, man.
You sure about that?
Because they scared of us in every aspect. Do you see us in the Olympic trials right now? We done swimming, gymnastics.
Yeah.
The fastest man on earth, the fastest woman on earth. Everything. Tennis. We taking over everything, man.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. That's a perfect lead into what I really want to say. So where are we going? Where are we going for the Olympics?
We going to Tokyo, right?
It's going to be us against them.
Yeah.
You think there's some hate now? Oh my God.
They're not allowing spectators.
Chinese folks really don't like Black people.
Woo!
But
On the
but you're talking about two different group of people. You're talking about Japanese, or you're talking about Chinese?
We're going to Japan for the Olympics.
Right. But he's saying Chinese.
Well, okay. Orientals, it's been known that they.
You don't say Oriental is a furniture or a rug.
There you go.
Well, I don't know what to say. Eastern folks.
Asians,
okay. They
don't forget. Don't forget. Let me say. Don't forget my son's name is Kiyoshi.
That's right.
Well, what? His daddy's Asian?
His daddy is half black and half Japanese.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to bring this topic up, but I didn't want to offend anybody.
You wouldn't offend me.
Okay.
You like an Asian brother? She like Asian brothers.
No, I did tell him, when all this stuff was happening, you might want to stay home because they're killing blacks and Asians. So you're really dangerous out there in the streets. Exactly.
Double trouble.
So we're talking.
Yeah, we're killing the Olympics.
Group of people.
Yeah, two different group of people.
Yeah, the Japanese people. Yeah.
And so we're killing in the Olympics. It's gonna be us against them when we get there.
Yeah, but they're not letting any spectators.
Yeah, but they have a whole lot of condoms available. You see that?
Because them Asian girls gonna love them black athletes, huh?
I could tell y'all a story.
All right. Well, I have to sign off.
All right, cuz.
Okay.
And pick this back up.
Yeah, we can shut it on down. I appreciate you guys hopping on.
Topic, but
say it again.
I said we didn't get into that real juicy topic that she brought up. With the pastors. But
you managed to get over that one. Yeah, we'll have to pick that one up.
Yeah, we got to pick that one up.
Yeah, when we come back, we'll be talking about some the pastors and how much they love us.
I ain't gonna let you get away with that, cuz.
And how much they love all women. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a great time. Cousins, I love you guys. I thank you so much for hopping on.
Love you too.
We're looking forward to moving us forward, moving us on. You can find us on the YouTube channel, Kurtek Inc. for all these broadcasts. You can also find us on all podcast platforms in the next day. This is going to be up and running. And you can also watch us on YouTube and Facebook. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody who's going to be watching. Any final words from my cousins here?
All I have to say. Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead, cousin.
No, I'm just gonna say, stay black.
I second that. Stay black.
And half that.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you very much. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.